Hey everyone, Jeremy here, and today we take you to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Now if you're taking a cruise stopping in Rio, whilst there's so many great things to do and places to visit, there's one landmark that you absolutely cannot miss: Christ the Redeemer. This impressive statue is an icon of the city and attracts millions of visitors each year. Standing at 98 feet tall, Christ the Redeemer is located at the peak of Corcovado Mountain, southwest of the cruise port, and offers breathtaking panoramic views of Rio de Janeiro. Now from the statue's elevated position, you can see the city's stunning beaches, surrounding mountains, and colourful neighbourhoods below. Now, if you're arriving into Rio de Janeiro via the Pier Maua cruise port, you might be wondering how to get to Christ the Redeemer. Well, that's what this video is all about, showing you how to do it. Pier Maua is a modern cruise port and is really the main gateway for international cruise ships visiting Rio. It can accommodate up to 4 large cruise ships simultaneously. Now the port is situated in the historical district of the city, close to a variety of popular tourist attractions, shops and restaurants. It is equipped with all the necessary facilities such as tourist information, restrooms, local tours, shops and ATMs. Christ the Redeemer stands atop Corcovado Mountain, located in the Tijuca Forest National Park. The distance between the Pier Maua cruise port and Christ the Redeemer is approximately 12 kilometers or 7.5 miles in a straight line distance. However, the actual distance and travel time may vary depending on the mode of transportation and the route taken. The distance may be slightly longer due to the winding roads that lead in the direction of the statue. The statue is situated at an elevation of 710 meters or 2,330 feet above sea level and offers these spectacular views of the city of Rio and its surroundings. The statue itself is an impressive feat of engineering and artistry. It stands 30 meters or 98 feet tall with an additional 8 meter or 26 foot pedestal, bringing the total height to 38 meters or 125 feet. The statue is made of reinforced concrete and soapstone, which is a type of metamorphic rock that is resistant to weathering and erosion. Construction of the statue began in 1922 and was completed in 1931. The project itself was funded by donations from Brazilian Catholics, and the statue was intended as a symbol of the country's religious devotion and cultural heritage. Now, you've got a few different ways of getting to the famous statue. The easiest way to get to Christ the Redeemer from the cruise port is by booking a tour. Both your cruise line and local tour companies that will offer trips to and from the statue. Now the advantages of booking a tour is that you don't have to worry about navigating the city on your own, and you'll have a knowledgeable guide to show you around. The most independent or cheapest form of travel is trying to take the city metro or the train system. However, we don't really recommend that for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's not super convenient because there isn't a station right near the port and trains don't always run on a reliable schedule. Now the second reason is time. It just takes too much time out of your day to get from the port to the local metro system, figure out the system, buy tickets, and then make the journey towards the Corcovado train station to swap over to the train taking you up the mountain. Now thirdly, the price point for multiple train tickets if you are with a group or even 3 to 4 people is potentially going to end up costing more than our suggested best option, which is an Uber. Now, whilst you can either take a taxi or an Uber to the Corcovado train station, which is really the starting point for the train ride up to the statue, please bear in mind that there is a massive price difference between the two. I'm including here the screenshot from my phone of the fare that we paid to go from just outside the port area to the Corcovado train station. Now it was 1991 Brazilian real, which at the exchange rate at the time of recording this video was $3.95 US equivalent. Now taxis were trying to charge us between 200 and 250 Brazilian real, which would mean 40 to 50 US dollar equivalent for the same ride, a 10 times markup. Now it should be said that this was the 2 to 3 taxi drivers that we encountered on a Sunday morning right outside the cruise port where you know you'd be paying inflated fares anyway, and it just so happened that we were seeking a taxi right in the middle of Carnival. Now, that being said, the price difference here is just so extreme in favor of the ride-sharing app. Now, of course, you do need the internet to make this work. I always travel now with Google Fi as my phone SIM. Just look into it if you're not familiar. It's essentially a month-by-month phone plan that works almost anywhere in the world. The distance between the cruise port and the Corcovado train station is approximately 12 kilometers or 7.5 miles, and the travel time can vary depending on the traffic conditions. Now, assuming average traffic conditions, the Uber ride should take around 30 to 40 minutes. Now, the route will take you through the downtown area of Rio de Janeiro and then up to the Tijuca forest where the train station is located. Once you reach the Tijuca forest, the road becomes a little bit more winding and narrow, but it is still well maintained. And depending on the route taken, it is possible that you'll pass through some interesting towns, so just keep an eye out the window as you're driving along. Now, a little bit of a tip for you, keep in mind that the train going up the mountain is often crowded, so it is best to arrive early to get a good spot and to avoid any potential wait lines. The other thing to note is that the train doesn't operate in bad weather, so just check the weather forecast before you go. Once you arrive at the station, you'll need to purchase a ticket to board the train. Now, there's several different types of ticket options available to you, depending on whether you want a round trip or a one-way ticket. Now, tickets can be purchased either from a ticket machine or a staffed counter. Now, as of 2023, a round-trip ticket for an adult costs 92 Brazilian reais, which is approximately $15 US. Now, for this ticket price, that includes the train rides up and down and the entrance to see the statue once you do reach the top. Now, please note, however, the ticket prices, they do fluctuate a little bit between the high season and the low season prices. Once you board the train, sit back and enjoy the ride. The journey takes about 20 minutes or so and passes through the lush Tijuca forest. Once you reach the top, you'll be able to see the famous Christ the Redeemer statue up close and enjoy some of these breathtaking views over Rio. There are several different viewpoints for you to take in, there's some shops and a small museum that you can explore. Now, the good news is that with the implementation of elevators and a new escalator system, visiting Christ the Redeemer is now more accessible than it's ever been before. When you're ready to head back down, simply board the train again and enjoy the journey back to the station. And that's it! Taking the Corcovado train up to Christ the Redeemer statue is really a must-do activity when visiting Rio. With the stunning views and a smooth journey, it's definitely a worthwhile day out, and it's relatively cost efficient too as far as visiting famous global sites go. Because if you're going on your own and you have 4 people sharing an Uber ride each way, even with tips, this adventure is really only costing less than $25 US per person equivalent to see one of South America's most iconic sites. And if you have any questions or need more information, just let me know in the comments below. And thanks very much for watching, everyone, and enjoy your time in Rio.